Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Kevin Hunter with Harry Brelsford. And Harry, we're going to talk about 1 million smiles. And there's a little background behind this story and how it all launched. And why don't you take it from there? Because I don't want to give any misinformation on where this all started. But talk about 1 million smiles and where we're at with it today.
Oh, sure. Thank you. And always a pleasure to join you on Tuesdays. We've been doing it quite a while. In fact, it's our second anniversary, Kevin. It's the month of July. How about that?
Yes, it is.
So now you know what I know. But Kevin, basically, my philosophy and other like-minded people in my industry is with the pandemic. Now's a heck of a good time to lead with your better self. Give back to the community, help people out, donate. I've already told you I went to mini storage and found a whole bunch of computer hardware, and we donated it to the National Christina Foundation that you featured on a prior show.
Right.
That kind of thing. So 1 million smiles is in that same philosophy. And what occurred was back in March, longtime friend Elizabeth Vandervelt at Microsoft Canada in Toronto made a social media post up on LinkedIn with this idea. How about, hey guys, why don't we mail greeting cards to senior citizens and others who are now sheltering in place at assisted living centers and nursing homes, and they cannot receive visitors, right? Mm-hmm. And as you well know, in Seattle, that was a hot spot in late February, early March, right? The nursing homes. So I posted back up. I said, hey, Elizabeth, let's get on the phone. I'd love to have you send one card to my 90-year-old mom at an assisted living center in Seattle. Just one card.
Right.
I would appreciate it. We get on the phone. One thing led to another. And from that was born 1 Million Smiles, a global initiative. And initially, we were going to be in complete alignment with Microsoft to bring this to market. They certainly have reach. I have some reach with 50,000 community members. And the deeper we got into it, it became apparent that it's probably better to let a firm that's a little smaller and a little more agile take over this project. God bless Microsoft, but Kevin, sometimes it might take months to get this kind of campaign launched at a company such as that. And they knew that. And so I said, well, let me get out in front, right? Let me get out in front. Let's see how it goes. And then maybe we can catch up to Microsoft on the back end of this. And I'll speak to that in a minute. So here's the deal. In March, one fine weekend, I had a couple of neighbors over that, we felt safe being in each other's presence. They came over to when I was on the Llama Ranch in Austin, Texas. We created 20 cards and addressed them basically to whom it may concern, and put it in a large envelope. We did not lick the individual envelopes. So Kevin, there's some safety protocols.
Right.
And seriously, you don't lick an envelope. You cannot address it to an individual because the nursing home is reluctant to release the individual's name with HIPAA and compliance issues.
Sure.
Right. You're not supposed to know they're there.
That makes sense.
So I did 20 cards to whom it may concern. And Kevin, the more we did it, and truth be told, one bottle of wine led to 2 bottles of wine, which is, that's all fine. So it was fun, right? And we started to come up with individual phrases for 20 cards. We wanted to make them unique. And so one that's quoted in this article that I'll speak to in a minute is 2020 has been a flop. Can't wait till we can get together and dance the bunny hop. So we were coming up with those kind of phrases. And then, I went to Dollar General, and you could buy cards for 50 cents versus some grocery stores get like $4.50, $5 a card. Mm-hmm. And so it was a pilot program, and it worked. And we sent it to this nursing home in Seattle, Assisted Living Center. That's one of the recipients. And they took photos as proof because we want to, have social media interaction going on to drive the campaign. And so it all worked. And what I'd like to do now, oh, by the way, Kevin, at the time we came up with this, we thought it might be a 60-day, maybe a 90-day project, but now is 1 month led to 2, which led to 6 months. Here we are, right? So I like to get this on top once a month. By the way, there's my mom, my 90-year-old mom on the screen, reading her card, which I hand wrote. So back in June, Metropolitan Molly is a fairly popular blogger in LA. And she picked up on the story and wrote this article. And folks, if you would Google Metropolitan Molly and 1 million smiles, you can read the entire article, and there's a link off to where you can sign up and participate. But Kevin, it feels right. And now what we're trying to do, a couple of things. We're trying to drive more activity, and activity comes in two forms. So one is when you go to our site at SMB Nation, where we host this, and you can, again, Google that, you can sign up for a resource kit. We made a little resource kit about how to do this. It sounds simple. Buy a card, address it, write on it, put a stamp on it, and send it. Sounds simple, but Kevin, when we actually laid out the procedures, it's one full page of a procedure to do this thing right. It's always harder than it looks as an entrepreneur, let me tell you. The other thing you can do is you can nominate an assisted living center, right? And that has proven to be really cool because people are signing up and nominating maybe where their parents are in the Boston area, that kind of thing. And so that's how we're growing this thing organically. And then again, once a month, I get on a media platform such as Tech Tuesday to just get this conversation back up to the top.
Sure.
And I'll make a couple final comments, if you will, but we still have the notion, fingers crossed, we still have the notion of kind of taking this thing to, why don't we call it chapter 2? And that would be where we engage more school kids. So, people who are a member of SMB Nation, in all likelihood, have kids, right? So they're professionals, they have a family. The kids are basically still home, and now it's summer. And so the idea being that in stage 2, why don't you turn this into a family event, make some lemonade, sit around the table, and as a family, write out 20 cards. And so that's where we're headed with that. And then I call it chapter 3. And again, got it kind of on the whiteboard over here. But chapter 3 would be to re-engage with the likes of a Microsoft and maybe set up the distribution of Surface tablets and have the ability to have video chats, right? So take it to a whole nother level, like Microsoft could.
No, that's powerful. And you mentioned about your 90-year-old mother. I have a uncle and aunt across the river from me that she is in her early mid-90s, and I believe Ray is now 98, turning 98 this year. And wonderful people. It's been a real bummer through all of this that we haven't been able to go there and visit like we have often in the past. And so great thing overall, and great to let these people that they're not forgotten. And so 1 million smiles. It's an awesome thing, Harry.
Well, do me a favor offline if you want to shoot me the name of the living center, the assisted living center they're in.
They're actually at home. They're that age and they still live at home taking care of themselves. Isn't that awesome?
It is. Well, actually, if you don't mind, that raises a privacy thing that we bumped into in the pilot because we were going to work with a home healthcare organization. Actually, this was post-pilot, but a friend of mine is with a home healthcare organization. So this is sort of the assistant that drives to your parents' house like twice a week and kind of helps out, right? And we wanted to engage with them, and we're going to find a way, but we quickly ran into a problem that she could not divulge your parents' name and postal address to us, right? But that's a privacy issue. So then it's like, well, how do we get cards to Kevin's parents? And we're working on resolving that. Ideally, it would go to her office on Whidbey Island, and then she'll just hand out a card when she makes a weekly visit. In your case, Kevin, I would be happy to write out a card and send it to you directly, so we stick to our own security protocols.
Very good.
And
All right.
so
That'd
now
be
you know what
awesome.
I know.
That'd be awesome.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, man.
All right, and just for a little housekeeping here at the end, where can people go then to get more information on 1 Million Smiles if they want to be a part of it? Donate cars, money, or just even names, as you mentioned, nominating places to go to.
Yeah, it's an extended link, so let me just get that over to you. And everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a computer guy or gal. That's just where this originated from.
Right. All right, perfect. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here on Tech Tuesday. 1 Million Smiles. What a worthwhile venture. Kevin Hunter with Harry Brelsford here. Till next time. Take care, everyone.